Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to do a 2500 round review on this Palmetto PX-9. I did an initial review at around 1,000 rounds. I talked more about the setup and how it was shooting, and now with the 2500 rounds I have on it, I've started seeing some shortcomings that I wanted to share with you guys, and maybe make Palmetto aware of them and hopefully get these shortcomings fixed. Now, despite the shortcomings that I'm going to mention, I did go ahead and buy this gun, which is also a PX-9. It's just this one has an 8-inch barrel, so that kind of tells you something. That despite that the gun may not be perfect, I still went ahead and I got a second one. Major problem that I found with this rifle. At around 1,500 rounds, I broke the extractor. Okay, this is the original bolt that was in the gun. It says G4-9. Okay, and if you look at it, the extractor, about 75% of the extractor is gone. There's about 25%, not the extractor, the extractor claw. The actual part that hooks the extractor and pulls it out, the claw. About 75% of it is missing. There's still about 25% of it there, which allows this to actually work. This was actually working when I pulled it out and replaced it, but it was working with that 25% of claw that's still there. But if you look at the bolt, like I looked at the underside over here, this is the part that kind of runs over the hammer, and this is worn in. I mean, for 2,500 rounds, I think that this bolt is wearing out too quickly. Okay, I think this metal that they use is very soft, and I think that Palmetto can do a better job. I mean, it looks like I basically took a peening hammer and I started, there's two spots here that look like they've been hit with a peening hammer, and it's just got a lot of wear. I can see that, I don't care so much about the discoloration, but discoloration is going to tell you about places where this thing is wearing out, and the underside that's running over the hammer, I mean, that's actually got material removed, but it was working nonetheless. Now, Palmetto does have a lifetime warranty on their products. I did send them an email. They sent me another email back about a week later saying that give us all this information. They wanted to know the order number, my name, address, all that stuff, and basically they sent an email that they wanted me to ship the gun back to them, and I basically sent them an email and said, okay, here's all the information, but I really don't want to ship this gun back to you. All I need is an extractor or replacement bolt, because I can clearly see that that's the part that's broken. The rest of the gun is working fine, and I have not. That was about almost 2 weeks now that I sent that email out. I have not gotten a response, and the reason is because basically they're overwhelmed with orders. I mean, there's a lot of orders going in. And I'm going to guess that that's the reason why they haven't responded to my emails. Sooner or later, this will get resolved because they do have that lifetime warranty. But in the meantime, what I did is I ordered a replacement bolt. I got the Quad Valley Precision, says 9mm AR-15 bolt. Okay, and that's what I have in here right now. I ordered two of them. I have one in this PX-9, and you can see if you look on the bolt, they have, there's a K with a little V, so that you can tell the bolt apart from the one that says G4-9, the original one. And what I did, I ordered two of them. So I got one in the rifle, and then I got another one here in the bag as another backup in case I have another problem with the other rifle, because I've been so busy with new shooters that I right now I can't afford for this rifle to go down. These rifles are very useful to me because a lot of times I go to different ranges, where I get called to train new shooters, and they've got these 9mm pistols that they've just bought because that's what they think is the best thing for home defense. And what I do is I bring these guns along and I say, great, you got your 9mm pistol, but let me explain to you why you need a rifle and why the rifle should be your primary home defense gun. So I have them, I use their ammo. I have them shoot a couple of rounds, a couple magazines rather, through this rifle, and they can see how much more easily they can hit the target and control the gun. And that's when I explain to them that the rifle has to be the primary gun and the pistol is the backup gun. But this is a method by which I introduce that concept to them, and I get them thinking in terms of AR-15s. Okay, so no, I don't tell people that they need a PX-9 as a home defense gun. I tell them that they need an AR-15 simply because it is a lot more reliable. It's been around for a much longer period of time, and the proof is in the pudding right here. I mean, you know, you can see this gun over here with you know, at 1,500 rounds. It's got 2,500 on it now, but I noticed that 1,500 rounds. That's when I noticed that the extractor had the extractor claw had broken. I started noticing the wear on this. I also had noticed that this roll pin over here, right? Because this bolt is weighted, right? And there's a roll pin that goes through here that holds this weight in place. And I don't know if it was like that from the factory or if it happened from all the shooting, but the roll pin had it sliding out to the side. So it was starting to protrude out the side, and what that's going to do is that roll pin is rubbing on the inside of your receiver. You know, it's going to damage your receiver. So I had to take a pin and push that roll pin back in. So that's another thing that you guys got to watch out for as far as this bolt. You know, keep an eye on that extractor claw that doesn't break. Keep an eye on this roll pin. But the point I was trying to bring out is, you know, AR-15s have been around for about 50 years. There's tons of parts out there for them. You know, that's why that has to be your home defense gun rather than, let's say, a gun like this PX-9, because, you know, we don't know what kind of problems we're going to have with these guns. I mean, most people that own this PX-9 have not put 2,500 rounds on it, you know, because they don't do what I do. And now that, you know, that I have it and I'm working this gun, I'm starting to see some of the flaws with the gun that are fixable. You know, I mean, this is a fixable problem. Basically, they need a better bolt with a harder extractor claw. You know, and the bolt made out of harder materials, so it won't wear down as fast. Because, you know, like I said, the area that the hammer runs over, I mean, that's just, you know, that's just, you can see it's starting to get eaten away. You know, there's two spots here that look like I've been hitting it with a peening hammer. The other thing that I noticed, let me open up this gun. Got the gun part, by the way, here. This is the Claw Valley bolt. You can see that extractor is not broken. And so far, it looks like there's less damage over here. I don't see it. And now I only got about, I don't know, maybe 1,000 rounds on this since I put this in. So, you know, it clearly doesn't have as many rounds on it. I'm going to keep an eye on that and let you guys know. But very important two things I did notice. This little piece over here, right? This is the magazine stop. So when you put the magazine in, okay, that piece there, it stops the magazine from going right through. So that's your magazine stop, and that also functions as your ejector, so that when the claw pulls the case out of the chamber and it pulls it back, it basically hits this piece here and it ejects it out. And I can see that this piece over here, this magazine stop slash ejector, is wearing. I can see there's clear wear on that. All right, so that's wearing very fast. So that piece needs to be of a harder material. Okay, so that's too soft in my opinion. Should not be wearing this fast. The other thing that I noticed is that these two bolts, you see these two Allen screws over here? These two Allen screws are what hold this piece in place, this magazine stop slash ejector. These two screws are not Loctited in from the factory. So what I noticed is that about 1,000 rounds, I noticed that they had started loosening up. So I had to take them out, put them back in, you know, Loctite them in place, and so far they haven't moved. But that's just something for you guys to be aware of. Make sure that these screws don't start coming loose on you, because if you lose them, it's a pain in the neck. You get, you know, pain in the neck to go find these. So yeah, you may have to Loctite these screws back into place. Okay, so that's the other thing you got to watch out with this rifle. Let's put this back together. In, close the gun. Okay, so I got the rifle back together. Now, the other thing I noticed with this rifle is that it does kick out a lot of gas, which is not a problem for the right-handed shooter. So it does kick out a lot of gas to the right side out of this ejection port at this angle over here. Oh, another thing I also noticed. Let me lock it open. If you look over here, that's where the cases are kicking out. You can see how there's some wear over here from the cases apparently are hitting that spot there and are starting to eat at the receiver a little bit. Now, I don't think that's a major problem. I mean, you'd have to put like 1,000,000 rounds, I think, through this to really start damaging this, you know, to the point that it would actually damage the receiver. But that is a point where I can clearly see where the cases are hitting this, and they're leaving marks and they're wearing it. I mean, that's not a big deal for me. Now, one of the things that does matter is if you're left-handed, because if I'm shooting this on my right side, let me get a magazine. This does kick out a lot of gas out of the ejection port. Okay, so right now I'm not feeling any gas, right? Because I'm shooting it right-handed. Gases are coming out at this angle. If I shoot it left-handed, you will see that I will tell you that that you'll feel some gas in your face. Now, the other thing that you might notice is on the last round, this does not lock open, so it does not have a last round hold open, which is done intentionally. And Palmetto says on their website, because if they try to put a last round bolt hold open, it makes the gun both a lot more expensive and less reliable. And that I have seen, because I've shot the Stag Arms version of this, right? The Stag Arms, you know, AR9, and you know, I had a client that came to me first day shooting it, and yeah, we had a problem with that with the bolt catch, and as far as I know, he's still waiting for the part to be replaced like a month and a half later by Stag Arms. So yes, Palmetto's not lying about that. If you try to put a working last round bolt hold open feature on the gun, it does become problematic. You know, I've seen it with the Stag Arms version. Let me shoot this left-handed. So if I'm shooting this, you know, you can manually lock this open like I've done now. All right, put your safety on, and then you hit the bolt release here, and it will chamber it around. Okay, so the bolt catch does work. If you manually open it up, you just can't, you know, it just won't do it automatically on the last round. So let's fire a couple of rounds. Okay, so there was a tiny bit of gas. I think I can feel some tiny little pinpricks over here. You know, not much, but there was definitely something going on there. I felt something over here, you know, just because, you know, just the way the gun fires, if you're holding it like this, it's coming out kind of at this angle. It's not that bad. If I have somebody that's shooting this and I'm standing, because usually when I have somebody shooting like this, I'm standing like back here somewhere, you know, coaching them, and I'm right here in this position. I'm usually getting a lot of that gas in the face. So it's a little worse out here. So if you're left-handed, it's kind of actually going kind of past your head. So you're going to feel a little bit over here, but if you're out here, if somebody's standing out here in this position, they're going to feel a lot more of it. So that's kind of where the gas is going. So just something to be aware of. I don't think it's a terrible thing. I had a lot of left-handed shooters that have shot this that didn't say anything. I've had a few that did say something. So depending on how sensitive you are, you might, you know, it might become an issue for you, or it may not. Now, I did like the gun enough that I bought the 8-inch version of it, right? So this is the PX-9 pistol. I really wanted the 10-inch one, but what happened was I had two choices at the time I was ordering it. It was either the 10-inch with the blade, right, with that plastic blade, or the 8-inch with the SB brace. Okay, so I thought that this would be a lot more comfortable for people to shoulder and shoot, rather than a blade, you know, that had a smaller surface area digging into the shoulder. So that's why I decided to go with the 8-inch with the brace. Now, first thing I'm going to say is, and I have other SB braces, I'm not very happy with this one. There are some cool features. Number one, it is It is adjustable. I mean, most people are going to want to have it at the longest position. It does have a QD mounting point over there, which I think is very cool. But this over here is way, way too soft. My other SB bracers are a lot tougher, stronger. You can see how this is starting to just, lose its form a little bit. I have to think of a way to maybe reinforce this somehow. With some people, they're pulling it tighter into their chest. They're definitely bending it. So this is the one thing that, on this, I'm sort of disappointed with this SV brace. It's a little too soft here. This should have been a bit stronger. Now, as far as the 8-inch barrel, like I suspected, 10 inches would have been better. Now, mind you, this does not come with this extension here. Basically, this is a linear compensator or blast diverter to send more of the noise downrange, but that's not the reason I bought it. Initially, when I had people shooting this with the flash hider, that basically comes out to about there, right about here where this thing starts. All right. What I noticed is that some people were holding it like way out here, and I was becoming very concerned that the hand might slip forward. Not that it did, but it was just one of those things I had in my mind. And as a safety concern, I decided to put this extension on here, this linear compensator, that a long one, about whatever it is, about 4 or 5 inches, whatever this is, so that if somebody does get a little sloppy and slide their hand up, they're not going to shoot the fingers off, and I have more time to react. Because if I start seeing them slide up, there's a lot more distance that they would have to travel to get to the front. So that's why I put this on here. And if you get the one with the 8-inch barrel, you may want to consider it. This is pretty light, the one I have. I forgot who I got it from, but it's very light, and it doesn't add much to as far as weight to the front of the gun. And it looks cool. I mean, people look at this and they think it's it's a suppressor, and so it has a cool look to it. So it's working out really good. So the only complaint I have on this gun is the SB brace that comes with it. This is a little bit too flimsy in my opinion. This should have been a little bit tougher. They should have put some more rubber over here. But other than that, the gun's working good. I got about 500 rounds on this. This still has the original G49 bolt on it. I don't see the extractor breaking on this. I don't see any problem so far with the extractor. The gun is very popular with women because it's not front heavy. So it's a good way to introduce women to AR pistols. I used to think that the whole concept of an AR pistol or an AK pistol was kind of silly. Like, why would anybody want something so short? But then, over the last couple of years, I have seen that women really prefer the AR pistols over full-size 16-inch ARs, just because the weight is a little bit closer to the body, and they're able to balance the gun a little bit better. So I have seen a use, to that extent. They're very popular with women, and I've been able to recommend them for a lot of women. But these are fun guns. I like them. This 8-inch PX-9. Like I said, no problems yet. We got about 500 rounds on it. Safety on. I have to fire a couple rounds with this boy. Safety on. So I really like that these guns are purpose built to take Glock magazines, and that's kind of like, because I don't want to have lots of different magazines from a lot of different companies. I'd rather have at this point I've kind of, I see Glock as the sort of like a standard for pistols. Even though it is not necessarily my favorite pistol to shoot, it is my favorite pistol for training people. Because it's such a standard thing, and also just because you can get all the parts, the parts are readily available. They make the P80 kits where people can build them themselves. So there's a lot of flexibility with Glock, just because the patents have expired. So that's why it's really worth it to focus on guns that will take the Glock magazines, and that's really why I bought these guns from Palmetto, because they purpose built them to take Glock magazines. And these ETS ones, the clear ones, they've been working great. I have only had, out of the 30 or so that I have only had 2 that gave me a problem. And what happened is, I guess it was a little out of spec. The follower was a little higher, and what happened was, when the bolt went forward, it clipped the top of the follower and basically smashed it. And when you put it in here and you work the bolt back and forth, you can see that it pushes down a little bit on the follower. I contacted ETS and they sent me replacement followers, so that wasn't a problem. And like I said, I've got about 30 of them, and I'm already up to 2,500 rounds on this one and 500 rounds on that one, and they're all ETS magazines. That's the only thing I'm using right now for as far as Glock. On these guns or my actual Glock. So these ETS magazines are working really great. Like I said, as far as Palmetto, I think they need to improve on their bolt. The extractor should not have broken at 1,500 rounds. With my ARs, I will typically, I'll typically break an extractor every 10,000 rounds. Okay, it's not like these things are going to last forever. My Glock, that went 75,000 rounds before any parts on it broke, and the part that broke was actually that little trigger spring in the back. And then after that was fixed, it went another 20,000 rounds before it broke, before that same spring broke again. But the point is that the Glock extractors work really good. There's absolutely no reason why this extractor on this G49 extractor should have broken at 1,500 rounds. I'm hoping that it's a fluke, that it's just in this one bolt, and rather than a system-wide thing. But that's kind of why I'm putting this video out there, and I'm going to highlight the fact that the extractor broke at 1,500 rounds on this Palmetto PX-9, so that if other people had a similar experience, I'll hear about it, and we can get back to Palmetto and tell them to clean up their act, because I really like Palmetto. I do really want the company to succeed. I like their concept of trying to put as many guns out there, as many affordable guns out there in the hands of many Americans as possible. So I like the morals of the company. I like the concept. I like everything that they do. And I have Palmetto ARs, and I'm still waiting for that PSA 9 for them to put that out. I'm looking forward to buying that whenever they decide to release it. But right now they need to fix this bolt issue with the PX-9, and also they need to do something about this the ejector that's way too soft. Shouldn't be wearing out that fast on by 2,500 rounds. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, any comments, put in the comment section. If you're not a member of the channel, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.